So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another Zombies video, where today we are back with a Zombies Q&A, the series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do with the Zombies storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, a like rating would be appreciated, of course. If you want to, if not, it's totally fine. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel, but let's get into it. Click that notification icon as well. Here we go. So the first question of today from Julian says, "Hey BOA, I have a question. How does President Kennedy know what the zombies are? Did he work with one of the zombie groups, and is that why he has a wall full? Also, wasn't the lab from 5 on Rebirth Island? How did the United States get it to the Pentagon? Please answer." So in the 5 intro cutscene, you can see when the meeting is taking place between Richard Nixon, Fidel Castro, and Robert McNamara, obviously with Kennedy as well. When the zombie outbreak starts to happen in the Pentagon, JFK clearly knows what's going on. And you're asking, why is this? Well, the Americans in the Pentagon were also doing their own zombie experiments, so of course JFK, being the president, is going to know about it. If they're doing research with 115 and attempting to create their own versions of the undead, JFK is going to know what a zombie is. Of course, we know the Americans were also creating their own versions of the teleporters, their own wonder weapons. These were all based off stolen research that they took from abandoned Group 935 research bases. So there you go. The next question of the day from Lil Blue says, "Hey BOA, why does Richthofen wear a SS Nazi uniform? Shouldn't he wear the Group 935 uniform?" Well, actually, that's a good question, because there's logic to this, but that it also doesn't really go along with what we know in the storyline. Yes, zombies began during World War II in the 1940s. Richthofen, of course, is a German. He was a part of Group 935 that worked along with the Nazis, yet we know that he, I wouldn't say opposed them, but he didn't want to work alongside the Nazis. When Group 935 was running out of money and Element 115 during the 1940s, we know the leader of Group 935, Maxis, went to the Nazi party asking them for more funding, and in return, Group 935 would give the Nazis weapons to help them win the war. And a big part of the story was Richthofen opposed to this. He didn't like what Maxis was doing. Richthofen didn't want to work with the Nazis because he thought if these two forces joined together, Group 935's main priorities, which were to help mankind, and also the mass production of Richthofen's wonder weapon, which was the Wunderwaffe DG2, Richthofen thought joining forces with the Nazis would take away from Group 935's main goals. And so, yes, it is kind of strange that Richthofen wears this uniform, yet he didn't want to work with them. So in terms of story, it is a little bit strange, but actually we know the real reason why this is because Richthofen's model was taken from the campaign. Back in World at War, when zombies first started, it was a tiny little game mode. It was nothing compared to what it was now. The first time we were introduced to the Ultimus characters was in Shino Numa. Before that, we just played as random Marines in Nakta and Toten and Verrucht. Of course, we also played as Dempsey and Verrucht as well, but the first time we played as all 4 of our characters, Richthofen, Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey, together was in Shino Numa. At that time, zombies was nothing. It didn't really have its own department. It didn't have its own budget. Treyarch had to keep it minuscule and not spend additional money on it, and so, of course, creating their own character models for this game mode back then would have cost them money, and so instead what they did was took characters from the campaign and added them into zombies, and that's the origin of all 4 of our iconic Ultimus characters. Takeo, Nikolai, Dempsey and Richthofen are all characters from the World at War campaign. Takeo, I believe, was just a Japanese officer. Richthofen was just a German officer. Nikolai was someone called Chernov, I think that's how you pronounce his name, or Chernov, something like that. And then Dempsey in the campaign was a character called Polonsky. And so, since Richthofen was a German officer in the campaign, and they added his exact same model into zombies with the same clothing, that is the reason why we saw him wearing what he does all the way back then. So that's the real reason as to why he wears this uniform. But like I said, in terms of story, you are right, it doesn't 100% make sense, since he didn't necessarily work alongside the Nazis. And it is also kind of strange how he is the only one really in Group 935 that wears a uniform like this. Every other character that we see wears something relating to the group that they work for, such as a Group 935 uniform, which is what Maxis wears. But then of course for that you could say, well, we never saw any of the characters back in World at War. It was only Ultimus. Other characters were added later on down the line when Treyarch had their own budget and could create their own models for the game mode. The next question says, why do the zombies get harder to kill the higher the rounds get? So first off, looking at the zombies' health, how it goes up per round. If you don't know about this information, it was worked out by quite a few people a while ago now. I will link it down in the description, it's pretty interesting. I believe this information was for BO1 zombies, but carries on through all of the game modes. The zombies' health hasn't changed from World at War to Black Ops 4. But on round 1 for every zombies game, all of the zombies start off with 150 health, and then each round you go up until round 9, the zombies gain 100 HP every round. So for example, let's say on round 1 they have 150 health, round 2 the zombies then gain another 100 health, so they then have 250 health, round 3 they have 350 health, round 4 they have 450 health, and so on, up until round 9, where it then changes, and starting around 10, the zombies' HP is then multiplied by 1.1. So instead of going from round 9 with 950 health to round 10 where it should go to 1050 health, from each round here on it is instead multiplied by 1.1, and so on round 10 they have 1045 health, on round 11 they have 1150 health, round 12 1264 HP, round 13 1391 HP, and so on and so on. And so every round that goes on past round 10 they gain 1.1 HP each round. So for example, let's say you get up to round 100, each zombie has 5552 health. I've never gotten up to that round myself personally, but I have got up to 50, and it takes a long time to kill the zombies on that round, so you can just imagine, unless you've got to that round for yourself. In terms of spawn rate, and like I said, this was for Black Ops 1, however, I don't believe it's changed. It may have in BO3 or 4, but in Black Ops 1 at least, the max amount of zombies you could have on a map at any given time was 24. You could have no more than that. Of course, another zombie spawns as soon as one dies. On round 1, the zombies spawn every 2 seconds, and then for each round you go up, the spawn delay is decreased by 5%, with a cap of spawning a zombie every 0.8 seconds, and that's reached on round 64. In terms of damage to a player from zombies, for every hit that they do, the zombies deal 50 damage to a player. So on Black Ops 1, of course that meant us going down in 2 hits, since we had 100 health. It was the same on BO2, and then on BO3 our health was increased, so it took 3 hits for us to get down, and obviously on Black Ops 4 we have 200 health, so it's 4 hits. So that's why the zombies are harder to kill as the rounds get higher in terms of mechanics. But if you're asking this question in terms of storyline, well, I don't really think there is an answer. If the zombies weren't harder to get killed, then it wouldn't be much of a challenging game. I really don't think in terms of storyline there's anything I can give you for that. It's not something we really question. The real reason is it's just because it gives us a challenge. If the zombies took the same amount of damage on round 50 as they did on round 1, well, there'd really be no point of rounds. The next question from CT6116 says, hey BOA, can you please explain the Civil Protector from Shadows of Evil and its purpose to the story of the map? Keep up the good work. So the Civil Protector, as you can hear from this quote,
the safety of Morgue City citizens is my only priority,
was property of the Morgue City Police Department, and its purpose was to protect the citizens of this city. You will notice, strangely, it does look like one of the giant robots from Origins. I think that's kind of like a little Easter egg from Treyarch, making it look similar to that, but the sole purpose of the Civil Protector was to do the work of the police force and protect this city's people, hence the name Civil Protector. I mean, there's really not much else to it. You will notice the badge number of it is 115, of course a reference to Element 115. Another cool thing is they can actually kill the Margwars instantly, which is a lot easier to do than shooting all 3 of their heads, and of course you do have to purchase it in game, so that's all there is to that one. And then finally Sir Chicken says, hey BOA, why is the Treyarch logo on the electric traps in 5? And again, there's nothing really to this one, I just wanted to show you guys in case you didn't know. I guess it's just an Easter egg from Treyarch, just adding their logo into the game. But yes, on the metal detectors on the traps, you can actually see Treyarch's logo, and it also says along with it 3 Arc, obviously being Treyarch. So there we go, that is it guys, that is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, a like rating would be appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.